I did play a bunch of video games, one of which is going to be a nightmare to talk about because I played
Spoilers.
Inscryption.
Spoily?
It's a game so easy to spoil, I stopped streaming it.
What?
Because I looked over and saw, did you get to the thing yet? And I went, I don't know what that means. And then went, oh, I cannot stream this whole thing.
Oh,
Because,
no.
like, there's, like, too much. There's just, it's like, don't talk about it.
Okay.
Just don't talk about it. So I'm going to talk about it a little.
This is a kryptonite to our jobs, and
Yeah.
like, it's no fault of the brilliant design of a game that its very nature is to be like secretive, and that's I want games like that to exist. It just happens to fall on our laps in a weird way. So yeah, if you do so responsibly and tell people to go check it out, that's fine. You know, but
Also,
Outer Worlds, right? Outer Wilds, excuse me.
A situation while I was streaming it is that it's quite difficult. And progress is made in big steps when you finally achieve, like, essentially beat a boss. And it's tough. It's really tough. So I'm going to talk about it a little. When you load up Inscryption, you are given a very fascinating roguelike card game in which you are playing cards in a dank PS1 cabin against what appears to be Satan on the other end of the table. And it is very Slay the Spire-ish. You're going up a little path that, you know, you go left to get the treasure, or you go right to buff your cards, but maybe something bad will happen, and there's a merchant you would find on the path, etc., etc. And there's a multitude of bosses you would fight along the way in order to beat the devil at cards. And the big mechanical shenanigans is that your cards start to talk to you, and they start to talk to you like immediately, like within 5 minutes of starting the game. And then upon playing it a little bit more, the devil says that, oh, I forgot to put your player piece on the map, right? And says, could you get up and go get it? And you get up from the table and realize that you can walk around the cabin at your leisure. And as you walk around the cabin, you discover, oh, there's a clock on the wall that I can move the stuff around. There's a locked chest that has a code. There's this over here. And there's an escape room that is built around the card game. And solving some of those puzzles will help you in the card game. Right? So one of the earliest examples...
What an interesting premise.
...is that you... there's a situation where you're losing and you are given a knife, and I did not know what the knife would do. So I clicked on the knife, and my character stabbed out their eyeball and placed it on the weighted hit points scale and won, at which point he offers to give you a new eyeball, one of which in the pack allows you to see secret messages scrawled around.
Huh.
Right? So little stuff like that. Right?
At what point did you decide to pull out?
What do you mean, did I pull out?
Did you go, I can't stream this?
Oh, the point where I was getting good at the runs. I was getting about halfway through, and I saw people asking about shit that I didn't know about, and I was like, I need to get away from this.
Yeah, so I see roguelike, escape room, card game.
Right.
Yeah.
So, and to those of you who think that's a large spoiler, keep playing the game. And that is maybe the first hour of the game. The game goes, and that's all I'm going to say about it. The game goes, and it's much longer than it appears. I had a really fun time talking to my friend who works over at Devolver, Clara. Do you know Clara?
I don't.
So we were having a real laugh about it. because I was pointing out that like the how long to beat on that game is a lie.
Mm-hmm.
Is a lie.
Mm-hmm. Just had that. I just had that with Dokapon. Dokapon said it was 5 hours.
Yeah, the how long to beat on Inscryption is 6 hours, and I saw people that were posting streams that were like, "We beat the game," and I'm like watching it. I'm like, "No, you fucking didn't."
That's
like,
good.
No, you didn't.
That's good. That's good.
And the more I play it, the more I want to talk to somebody about it, and the less that I can.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 999 ending A.
Something like that.
Yeah.
It's fascinating, and it's really, really fantastic. And I have one problem with it. Is that it's something that I run into a lot with these games that are very spoilery, that are very interesting, that are very unlike what you would have expected, is that when you get really, really, really deep, sometimes the game will change a little bit, or they'll throw a twist in there that changes the way the game works, right? And you end up, I kind of liked playing it more at the beginning.
Okay.
When it was simpler.
Okay.
Like, I can understand, like, this is a fun twist on the formula, right? Or I get a new type of card that varies things up. I actually liked the pure experience at the beginning better.
So I think...
And that's kind of where I'm at.
Well, remember how we were talking about Returnal and how roguelikes tend to, like... you hit a point where... you can just almost guarantee you're going to have an amazing run by, like, the more you unlock, the more incredible things you progress. There's going to be a point in every, like, all at least the decent roguelikes where, like, you do get such strong shit that you're starting out really OP in many cases, and that's how you get your good runs towards the end of the game. I think it's almost like a necessity of the genre, you know, to have that sense of progress.
Absolutely, but at the same time, it's just like I can't think of what I could compare it to. But it's as if how do I put this? Okay, imagine you were playing Metroid Dread, right? And you really didn't like the control feeling of the way the storm missiles worked. Right? I personally love it and think it's great. But let's say you preferred the classic missile gameplay or the classic charge your shot gameplay, but then the storm missiles come along and that's just a million times more effective than everything else, right?
But it replaces what you had?
Yeah.
Okay.
Something like that. And you're like, oh, I kind of like the way this game felt before.
I see.
That's my only knock against it. It's a fantastic game. It is a fascinating game. Its art is incredible. I don't know if you've seen what it looks like.
I did.
But it's one of the most distinctive, interesting-looking games I've ever played.
And we should note it's Inscryption with a Y, crypt in the middle.
But the more I play it, the less excited I am to finish it. In particular, I'm in what I assume most players would refer to as the third act.
Uh-huh.
And I really strongly dislike it.
Ooh. Twist.
I really, really dislike the gameplay twist in the third act.
Okay. So it morphs into something, and you're not as much a fan of that as you were how it started.
Yeah.
Are you going to finish it?
Probably.
Okay.
Okami is the best example.
Okami 2?
Okami, in this case, Inscryption 1 is the best one.
Okay.
And then Inscryption 2 is the second best one, and so on and so forth.
You know, I caught I caught a little bit, just a little discussion about like the Okami flack over the years that like we've had, where some folks were thinking
Okami
that like
2 isn't the best Okami.
No, they're thinking that
They're
like
wrong.
they're thinking that we over exaggerate the length of the game and that it was fine in the end.
They're crazy.
And I all I can think of is like I don't know if folks who didn't have a game that was that long were like mainlining it and ignoring side things, but I felt that like doing the mainline plot while also doing whatever side things came at a leisurely pace still resulted in a RPG sized save file.
Each Okami part is absolutely a full-length classic Legend of Zelda game.
Yeah.
So at main story only on how long to beat, it is 33 hours, which is 3 11-hour games.
But that is also rushing the fuck to the ending.
Yeah.
To get 33 hours.
Completionist is 53 and a half, which is closer to what I got.
You know, I feel like you can't hit 30 to 35 unless you're just ignoring everything and just mainlining, as fast as you can.
Man,
so
Okami's really good. Yeah, Inscryption is fantastic. I would invite everyone who has been intrigued by what I have said today to check it out and to check nothing else out.
No, that's a curious ass sounding situation. And now that you say like you dislike what's going on, I'm really curious to know what the fuck. So
it's not that I dislike what's going on. I dislike how the game plays later in the game.
Okay.
Like there's a mechanical change that's like, oh cool, we're mixing it up so that it's not like boring, right? And I'm like, I really wish you would have rather just fleshed out the first series of mechanics first.
I'm asking you a question in chat.
Okay, the answer to that is no.
Okay. All right.
I will answer your question.
Because this sounds...
Oh. Do you understand now?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I get it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That makes sense.
But how can I possibly get that across to somebody without spoiling?
No, don't. Interesting. Okay. Yeah, I'm curious. I'm very curious. Inscryption with a Y.
It's a great game. You should play it. There's a free demo, by the way. And the demo is good.
Cool.